Early in the morning I say, the sun is shining today. I don't want to put my head down. I want to be happy for what I found. I want to thank the Lord and say, Lord, keep sun to shine on me. And I know ain't nobody going to be greedy around me because I'm going to be happy. I say happiness is what I need. That's how I feel. Every day I say, I got to work hard and pray. I say, everybody wants to run around. They want to make a lot of money. That's going to make them happy, I say. Hey, if you agree, you'll never be happy, I say. I want happiness in my life. I want to get a wife. I want a career too. I want to do what I got to do. Here I'm making up as I go along. That means I'm happy, I say. And I'm feeling good each and every day because I say, I listen to what the music says. Happiness, I bust to the string on my guitar. Yeah, yeah.
The world is in a very stressful place right now. Sometimes it's our own personal issues that are affecting us, and sometimes it's the larger issue of the planet. There's a principle which says that God has the answer to every problem the moment it occurs. Whether we have an individual, personal problem, or we have a collective problem, our mind immediately goes to, what will I do, or what should I do?
The tower is about consequences. On that awful day, I remember having this outrageous thought. The one and only thing that I could do for this world was to be peaceful within myself. Of course, that was not peaceful in myself on that day, or on any other day. But I became resolved to try.
Okay, the planes hit the World Trade Center. There is, in that moment, a plan that emerges from the mind of God, and that plan is for the healing of the world. However, God can't do anything except through people. He can't do anything for us that he can't do through us. God is the electricity, but we're the lamps. So, the world as we experience it, whether it's your private life or our planetary existence, is a reflection of the people that we have been. You with me? So if we want the world to change, we have to become new people. So here's the human race on a suicidal rampage. That's what's happening right now. The war on terrorism, the biological desecration. There are so many stress factors on the planet right now. So God's plan is for us to become the people who have the level of wisdom and intelligence necessary. We have to become the people who, even if we can discern what it is we're supposed to do, have the maturity to be able to do it. Unless and until we make a quantum leap inside ourselves, we can't be the conduits for the quantum leap that has to occur in the world. What that looks like in our lives is that we're all stressed out because we're being put through a very rapid pace of change. Our grandchildren's grandchildren's grandchildren need you to become the Sean that you're capable of being on this planet.
Do you believe in reincarnation? Sure. Well, good to see you again then.
Rule number 1, don't believe me, but learn to listen. Don't believe me. Because what I'm telling you is just a story. It's a point of view, how I see life. And it's truth just for me. But if you learn to listen, you will understand what I try to communicate. Then don't believe me, but learn to listen.
Listening points to who you truly are, underneath all the things that continuously change.
While you listen and do everything else, if you're in the present moment, then all the joy that's there becomes apparent to you.
And so attention is that which is there when you're truly listening.
The second rule is a little more difficult. Don't believe yourself. You know, your head is talking all the time. It's like a wild horse that is taking you anywhere. If you don't learn how to tame the horse will take you wherever the horse wants you. Then don't believe yourself, but learn to listen what you have in your head. And the third one is very interesting. If you also don't believe anybody else, exactly for the same reason. Whatever they tell you is truth only for them, and it's the way how they express the experience that they have in life.
Are you going to kiss it or are you going to eat it? I don't have all day.
But if you learn to listen, you will see that in between all those lies, the truth is coming, and you will be able to perceive that truth. Then if you don't believe yourself, if you don't believe anybody else, if you don't believe me, all those lies will not survive, but the truth will survive. Believe it or not, the sun will be in the sky every single day. You don't need to believe in the truth in order that the truth exists. But for the lies to exist, you need to believe in those lies.
If I don't believe myself, and I don't believe anyone else, then...
Not as an attitude. No, really don't believe it. Not as a social position that you say, oh, I don't believe them. No. You're faking it. No, that need to be for real. But you learn to listen. That is exactly the key. Learn to listen.
So how can I be a warrior for my happiness?
The most beautiful fun of the warrior is to go and clean up the garden every day, because you know someone will put a bad seed in it and it will grow. If you keep feeding that bad seed, which is lies and things that make you happy, that will grow, baby. You catch it right away. This is not happy, boom. And you forget about it because you continue in the now. And that is beautiful.
Happiness is a decision I must make. Happiness comes from your perspective. I am more responsible for my happiness than I used to know. It's not about what's happening out there. It's about how I show up within what's happening.
Every individual brings a little piece of the piece. A little piece here, a little piece there. And pretty soon, you'll have a big piece everywhere. But it starts with you, developing your inner peace and then letting it out.
The word I is probably the most frequently used word in the language. I am angry. I am American. I am this. I am that. That I is the greatest delusion.
So if I'm not something, am I nothing?
Yes, I would pronounce that differently, though. I would say you are no thing. Now, there's a difference between no thing and nothing. Nothing is simply a denial. But no thing means there is a presence there, but it has no form.
Hey, Shawnee boy. How's the monk in training coming, huh?
Are you meditating? What do you think? Can you teach me to elevate?
You mean levitate?
Action can come from the limited mind, and it's not usually skillful action, or action can arise out of the state of aware presence.
Sit. Listen, we need to talk.
Oh, Sean, let's don't. Well, you don't look ready.
Look, I don't want to do the cattle call for extreme dating. I'm an actor.
How about a birthday party in Beverly Hills?
Tell me that's a movie.
It is a birthday party in Beverly Hills.
I haven't had a real gig in 2 years, man. Damn it.
Look, you gotta stick it out, that's all. That's called paying your dues.
You know what, you're probably right, but I need a break, so I think I'm gonna go to Hawaii or something.
Oh, hey, the closest you're gonna get to Hawaii is looking for water in the toilet bowl.
God's message to humanity been, do not be afraid? Two reasons. Number one, he senses that we are backed into a corner. Senses that we are afraid to step out and celebrate the best version of ourselves. Number two, the reason God's message to us throughout the ages has been, do not be afraid, because he knows that the measure of your life will be the measure of your courage. Go home tonight and take the 5 people you most admire from the history books and then ask yourself, who would they be without courage? The answer? You wouldn't even know their names.
From the beginning, he has claimed that he is a victim of an FBI conspiracy, a political prisoner. But in spite of his protests, Pratt stands convicted of the senseless murder and $18 robbery of a 27-year-old white woman.
Are you telling me that you learned to be happy in prison?
I found freedom, my understanding of freedom. Out of all of my 58 years, I found it in the depths of the worst holes in San Quentin and Folsom Prison. It took the process of detaching from everything. You don't have any desires. You stop masturbating. So you don't have no sexual desire, all that. But that's where I found true freedom. The desire, the submission, the release of the ego, the understanding that you are just a small part of something much bigger. And once you begin to adapt your body, your mind, to these things, this external stimuli, all these things, and understanding that we're all a part of something, that a continuation of something, and you reach that balance, then you feel happiness that you would probably never feel from drugs, from anything else. I ended up in jail because of situations that were concocted by Richard Nixon. When they were judged by Congress in '76, that they were actually wrong, that they were criminals, and you had convictions out of that. They went to San Clemente, and we went to San Quentin.
In the 1970s, a series of things began to happen. A Senate investigating committee found that the FBI had had a highly questionable counterintelligence program aimed at the Black Panthers, and that Pratt was a special target.
My first 8 years of my 27 years in prison was in the hole in San Quentin and Folsom. And back then, those holes consisted of just empty cell, but very inhumane and very torturous. These are the most intelligent beings that I've ever encountered in my life, ants. My first couple of years, I was always guarding against the ants, you know, because my toilet was a hole in the floor, you know, and they would crawl out of there, they would come and they would bite. So after a while, I realized that this is their world. I'm just here, and why am I killing them? You know, just let them continue to bite me. I just surrendered to them. And once I submitted to that situation, they'd stop biting me, and then after a while, they started bringing me things, like little crumbs and whatnot, that I could eat. And then that caused me to thank them. I was so grateful, because at that time, guards would not feed you. Sometimes I was on bread and water for a long time. It was just a good feeling of gratitude that I think opened me up and made me reduce my ego. That act of submission, to reduce yourself, because you got this macho, you above everything, and you can fight anything, you know, and now you're being made to submit to this tiny creature. And then you learn so much from it. That really had a big impact on my life. I began to meditate and to do certain things that was later told to me to be a part of the transcendental meditations and the astral projections and all of these things that I read later. The Maharajnis, Krishnamurtis, led to this thing that you had to let go. You had to not have an ego. You had to, you know, not be attached to all of these things which are causing you to deteriorate. But once you reach that, it's like you are just like a spirit that just exists in and of yourself.
If we look into the wisdom tradition of Buddhism, they managed to condense the reason for all unhappiness into one word. And the one word that they came up with was self-centeredness. All unhappiness comes from this. And the Buddha said that all of our concerns about self can be put into 8 things: praise and blame, loss and gain, pleasure and pain, and fame and shame. So pretty much anything that makes you feel up or down is in that category. It's one of those. And that's only something that you're concerned about when you're operating from a self-center. Now here's the catch. You just learned that whenever you're self-conscious, you're proceeding in the world from your thoughts. You're not in reality, but you're in a universe that revolves around those 8 things. And so you react to everything according to how they affect you. Did it give me pleasure? Did it cause me pain? Did I lose something? Did I gain something? Everything's about that. And your happiness rides up and down. So Buddha saw everything in this wheel. They said, if you're on that treadmill, you're lost, because one will come to the other. So you have to move into the present if you want to be happy.
What's for dinner, Sean? Grass and leaves?
Hello. Sean. So what do Jews expect from you?
Jews are, first and foremost, a people of doing, of practice. You know, we don't have any of this salvation issue. We don't believe people come into the world in need of being saved. You're sort of expected to make something of yourself, something that has eternal value. We also believe that the way to do it is sort of like what I'm doing here. You don't become a powerhouse by willing it or by wishing it. You have to make small incremental changes in your life.
The big picture is making something of yourself in this world.
How do I do that?
You study. You find out about yourself, and you find out about God. Anything that he asks us to do has to be for our benefit, because he wants to make us happy. That's what life is about. That's why he created us. It's all about happiness.
Welcome to Agape. Peace and blessings. Life is hard until you die, but bliss and ecstasy, joy and harmony, these qualities are potent and powerful. They may be subtle, but they're potent and powerful. And as you on a regular basis begin to make a heavenly choice, extending the good that you know, you discover that even the circumstances and the situations begin to meld, because they are the coagulated thought forms that we've all agreed upon. because your conscious awareness of the all good is stronger than that circumstance. But it begins with your awareness that you have the capacity to choose to become more and more aware of the fundamental harmony of your being. Say, in this moment, I make a new choice. I choose heaven. I choose to extend my good. I can think independent of circumstances. I am duly empowered by the Spirit of God to anchor heaven on earth. Are you with me? Agree with each other. And let the celebration begin. Religion is now evolving, where we're becoming aware that all of us have the capacity to be God conscious or to be love conscious and to remove ourselves from being a victim of circumstances.
This guy's looking at me. Why are you looking at me? Come on, just... Can I get in, please? Hello, can I get in?
Anger is an emotion that covers up fear. And oftentimes we have anger because we're afraid to feel our fear. We develop compulsive behaviors. But if you're willing to just stop and acknowledge that you're afraid, then you can also acknowledge that somewhere within you, you're bigger than the fear. I believe we grow two ways, pain or insight. And so you either get sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Hey, Tweedledummer. Well, we talked about the towel being a part of the uniform, man. I'm just going to clean up this sweat over here. It is all about service, dude.
Yeah, I guess I forgot my towel.
Or you have an insight that births you to another paradigm.
I don't think I should have to provide that service, Damien.
Suffering is not the price tag that you pay to be happy.
Yes, and if you bring in 3 people for this month, we're going to give you a free gym bag. Okay, great. Yes, ma'am? Yes, ma'am.
Happiness does not have to be something that happens at the end of some kind of goal. Happiness can be along the way. It's a moment-by-moment choice.
Hey, buddy. So how come you haven't turned any of those new session agreements? Oh, yeah. Because you haven't sold any this month. Now get on it.
Damien, you're one of those brain-dead morons who thinks that stupidity is a virtue. Huh? Exactly. I quit. Oh, yeah. Lose the pot belly.
If we ever want to be happy, we have to make sense of suffering. We have to realize that there's something in suffering that adds to the meaning of life, that helps us and allows us to be and become the best version of ourselves. And that is one of the great mysteries we have to delve further and further into.
But an individual who is living a purposeful life, which means the gifts and the talents, the capabilities, the intrinsic joy, compassion, love that is within us, when you live to let that come out, you find that you achieve goals and you do tasks, but they're a subset of a larger way of living.
The library here is one of the finest collections of wisdom literature in North America. And the idea behind that is that these are the great cultures of the world. Each one has its own wisdom literature. And they're about the laws of nature, the great principles of the universe. They're what we call perennial philosophy, all about the higher values of existence and how you acquire them. You know, Plato answered your question by saying, if you organize your life around one of the higher values, all the rest will come to you because all the higher values commune with each other. And his highest value was beauty. So he organized his life around beauty. And to him, beauty was a being. But just organize your life around one of those higher values like beauty, truth, love, freedom, justice, equality, peace, and happiness will come to you. That would be his answer. I think it's a good one. And then, you know, the man goes in searching for the bull, and then he finds the bull, and he uses a halter on the bull, and finally he gets on the bull, and eventually the bull becomes so tame that he throws away the halter, sits upon the bull, and reads his scroll as the bull safely takes him home. That's the story of our lives, you know, is controlling our animal nature until finally it becomes one with our higher nature. So the bull really stands for the possibility of every human being totally integrated, not being distracted by his lower nature, but by being assisted by it. So there's a somatic wisdom in our body, physical wisdom in every cell of your being. And once you get harmony with that, then the trip home is really easy. You can see this full blossom of the lotus that covers the Buddha is a total protection to him. And here's the 1,000-petal lotus, symbolic of full illumination. While the lotus comes out of the mud and the darkness that is below, it becomes transformed in the realized Buddha. You see, we all have a Buddha within us, and this represents its full blossoming. Isn't that a great promise to think about? What it says to me is that, well, happiness is an inside job, and you can see the total contentment in the look of the face and the posture.
I never have any money, and I want money.
Oh, you want money?
Yeah.
You're coming to the wrong guy. If you wanted to release your attachment to money, I could help you do that.
Will that bring me money?
No, that will bring me money.
Do cars bring people happiness?
Of course.
For how long?
For how long? A couple months.
You want to be happy for a whole day? Go shopping. It feels great, but it doesn't last. And then the credit card bills come. You know, if you want to be happy for a whole weekend, do whatever you do for a weekend. Go fishing, go golfing. You want to be happy for a whole month? Take a vacation. Go down to Australia. You have a great time. If you want to be happy for a whole year, inherit a fortune. But if you want to be happy for a lifetime, you've got to find a way to make a difference in other people's lives. You've got to find a way to make a contribution. Most people are so concerned with getting to success that they forget significance. And that's the great journey, is the journey to significance, not the journey to success.